Good morning. This is Brian LaRose. Welcome to podcast number 4 for Friends of Oak Ridge Motorsports Park. I'm your host, Brian LaRose. Glad to be joined today by a fellow gearhead from the north, Stuart Nodell, founder of the Track Reporter's Notebook channel, which does some amazing video casts. You got to go check them out on YouTube. They've got a Miguel Duhamel interview out there, some Dave Despain stuff. I love Dave. So Stuart, thank you for joining us this morning on Friends of Oak Ridge Motorsports Park. Glad to have you.
Oh, it's awesome, Brian. Thanks for inviting me. I'm glad that you reached out. Always love to talk all things motorsports.
Absolutely. Well, as you probably looked at the design, we're working on going through the various regulatory gates to get our track cleared to be built. We want to reach out to all of our gearheads and the bike community, AMA, MotoGP, Moto America, Supermoto, Vintage. You mentioned Vintage. There's so much going on in the bike community. We felt like it was best to give the bikes a chance, a platform here to speak about what this track may mean. So the track is being built in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. I think you had a chance to look at the layout, and Oak Ridge is near Knoxville. So we're in the eastern corner of the state, central to the Midwest, central to the Southeast and the Mid-Atlantic. So what would a bike-friendly track, of course, we're 5 hours to the north of Barber, which everybody knows is an amazing motorcycle track. But what would another track mean in the warmer weather, in the Mid-Atlantic, to your sport and to your fans?
Well, I think motorcycle people are always looking for, we live like gypsies, right? We like to go on adventures. So experiencing new racetracks is always welcome. It's always nice. Again, it's about challenging yourself is sort of the principle behind, even whether you're doing track days or going on to motorcycle racing. It's always about challenging yourself and kind of raising the bar. So any kind of new facility is always welcomed. I think where motorcyclists particularly sometimes feel left out with track design is often, I don't think the motorcycle community as a whole is not consulted. So, people design racetracks with the hope of bringing on probably mostly or primarily automotive racing. Mm-hmm. And it's always the safety things like Armco barriers and concrete walls. And with motorcyclists, because when we crash or have accidents, it's a little bit different. So it's always the safety and how is the racetrack going to work, and how can it be safeguarded?
Absolutely, and our developer is contracted with Tilke to do the track design. They do a lot of F1, FIA tracks, and He's instructed them that the FIA and AMA requirements for track design will be followed to the letter of the law. So what we're tentatively seeing here is a track design that will be bike friendly. So I'm really, really excited about that and about the possibilities of that. So
yeah, looking at the facility, it's a rendition, obviously, but it looks pretty awesome.
The idea that the track developers, there is a lot of elevation changes, and I know any racing guy goes, oh, I like that, right? So elevation change, great risk reward opportunity for racers. And so the idea that we're shooting for right now is to have about a 5-mile circuit that could be split in half. So there'd be kind of a club side, and then there could be kind of a track day or bike day side on the other side. So the sportsmen would get to have fun, and then the professionals over here. And then a few times a year, we could bring in one of those MotoGP or AMA and bring in some of those big names a couple of times a year. I saw that Moto America has a 5-race series this year. Is that growing? Are they looking for venues to do this sort of?
I don't know if they're looking for, I think they're always consulting with various venues. They actually seem to be returning to some of the more historic races where they used to go to places like Mid-Ohio and things like that, where they had a great heritage, a big following. Like Mid-Ohio, as an example, always had a big turnout for fans. So I'm not sure. I guess it all depends on logistics and scheduling and track availability. But like the rendition shows, starting out at the club level, and whether you're getting WERA, CCS, ARMRA, there's the US CRA that's run by Bob Coy. He has a vintage series out of the Northeast. I think they're mostly towards Loudon, New Hampshire. There's so much opportunity. I'm sure that, and then obviously, you have someone like Moto America, the folks, Wayne Rainey and such. They would be the ones to best answer, but I would suspect that they would always be looking at those opportunities as great possibilities.
That's exactly what we want to hear, and the opportunity to bring sport bike racing here. Now, Daytona's coming up in a couple of weeks for the Daytona 200. I've watched that going back in time, I've been a big fan of the Rolex 24-hour, and then the Daytona 200 follows right on the heels of that. So it's kind of the beginning of the season. So what are you and Pat looking forward to in the 200 coming up?
Actually, it's really exciting this year because, the last number of years, the 200 keeps, it wasn't what it was, say, in the mid to late 90s, even early 2000s, when you had, riders such as Scott Russell and Miguel Duhamel and the likes with the big factory involvement. After 2008 and the economic crash, racing sort of changed and the level of support changed. So in Moto America's basically had to, build things back up, and they seem to be on that path. Now they don't do the 200; it's done through ASRA and Kevin Elliott series, but they have a great list of riders that are on the docket that are set to participate. The 2019 winner, Kyle Wyman, he's set to return. So he's the defending Daytona 200 champion. They have Michael Dunlop, who's a former senior TT Isle of Man race winner, and he's registered and he's coming from overseas. So he should be a bit of a wild card, unknown, never having been to Daytona. But, when you race at the Isle of Man, you have a lot of experience on very fast racetracks. And I know when I personally raced Daytona, I raced in the 250 Grand Prix race. It was in either 2000 or 2001, John McGuinness, who's a well-known, he's an Isle of Man TT record holder. He came over and won the 250 class. So I suspect Michael, if he's on competitive equipment, because the thing with Daytona is it's about horsepower. Sometimes you may not have the greatest talent, but if you've got a fast bike, you've got a really good opportunity. And then there's, guys like Josh. I think Josh Heron's registered. Josh Hayes is registered for the race. Michael Barnes, who's he's been racing forever. He's based out of Florida. He's a past winner. Danny Eslick's registered. He's looking to equal Scott Russell and Miguel Duhamel's five Daytona 200 victories.
That's a lot of big names. So what you're telling me is this is coming back now, right? After COVID, I saw that it was canceled last year. That was very disappointing.
That's right.
And people are figuring out, you talked about track design earlier. This track is being designed in such a way that social distancing will be built into the pit stalls, to the way that the clubhouse is, because this is going to be the new norm. But we're coming back. It sounds like your racing is coming back too, from a year hiatus, and with the economy, I think, picking back up again. It's great to hear that motorcycle racing in America is on the way back. So really appreciate that very much. You mentioned earlier Pat's YouTube channel. I think we may work out something where we try to get our developer to maybe come on your show and talk a little bit about this, maybe in March or April, about what we're trying to do with this track, because we really want to reach out to the gearheads across the board. There's no such thing as a bad car guy or car gal or bike gal or bike girl guy. We're all gearheads. We all have the need for speed. It's just a different application of that desire. So looking forward to maybe having that opportunity to come on your show with Pat and talk a little bit about the track and what we're doing as soon as we get through a few more of these gates. So
yeah, that would be awesome. We'd certainly love to sit down with you guys. And like I said, Pat's he's a great interviewer, and we have a great following. So we got the really hardcore, like you said, same like gearheads, right? We're more motorcycle specific, but like you said, it doesn't matter. We're all into the same thing. We have the same adrenaline rushes. We just have different applications, like you mentioned. So that would be awesome.
And I think that's where getting in front of the track design now and getting your input and Pat's input to the track design now up front is going to be really critical to make sure that it is built the right way, that can be a multi-purpose, multi-use track. And that's going to be the best for the program anyway, that it could be used by a lot of different organizations. So do motorcycle groups have track days like we do, instructional sort of track days on weekends, where just people show up and not race competitively, just sort of get coaching on how to drive their bike on a track? Is that program something that bikers do?
Oh, absolutely. In some circles and some people you talk to, you might even say that the track day crowd, or it might be larger, for the same reason as the commitment of time. Like anybody that wants to go racing, depending on the level of racing you want to do, there's just a commitment of time that you have to commit to doing it. And the track day experience is really, in a lot of ways, the entrance point into getting into motorcycle racing. So yeah, it's hugely popular. There's lots of different track providers. So you definitely want to align yourself with some of them. I'd also say there's a lot of riding schools. So
Oh,
some of
okay.
them work in conjunction with various track days, like almost as consultants, roving sort of riding coaches that can give people feedback, give them a bit of, be there to kind of support people and help guide them, especially people that have not been on the track, because there's so many levels of variance from, you know, the more advanced riders to the beginner riders.
Sure.
And a lot of people that used to race and still love riding, they'll go back and just do track days exclusively, because again, maybe they don't have the time to commit to a racing series, but
Or the
this
money.
allows them to be involved in the sport. The money, yeah, the money is always part of it, but yeah, maybe if you know you're starting to have a family and you don't have the same free time you once had, and you want to stay connected to the sport, it's a great opportunity to stay involved and go and have some fun and blow off some steam.
And talking to developer, I think that's one of the goals. He wants to just get more gearheads on the track safely, learning our sport, learning our craft, getting, you know, faster behind the wheel or behind the handlebars. That's going to help us be safer and go faster and have fun with our bikes and our cars. So that's one of the goals, I think, of track construction. So
yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, here, I guess from a Canadian perspective, you know, we have challenges surrounding insurance, and what people have really done is abandon riding on the street altogether. You know, focus on riding on the track, and for the amount of money, it's actually less money when you break down the insurance costs and so forth. You go out, you blow off your steam for the day, you actually have more fun. You're in a controlled environment. It's just a smart way to go about riding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I don't know if you know this. Have you heard of the tail of the dragon in the Smoky Mountains? Have you ever been there?
Yeah, no, there's, I used to teach at a motorcycle road racing school called FAST.
Oh, okay.
And oftentimes we'd have students, and that they would come to our school to sort of, that was their preparation to go tame the tail of the dragon. So I know there's some epic stories, and it sounds like, I personally haven't been, but I know lots of people have been down there.
So the Dragon is about 30 miles east of this location where this track is going to be built. So here's what you could do next summer. You can bring a bunch of gearheads down from Canada, hang out, stay in Oak Ridge, enjoy our fine restaurants and hotels, do a track day, head over to the Dragon and do a day over there, and then head back up north. It'll be an epic trip for sure. So we're looking forward to that, and I'd love to host you and your team for a reception in my garage when that happens. So,
oh, that would be awesome. You know, I guess that's maybe part of the allure, again, where your location is located, is it could be a pilgrimage, right? It's a place where people want to go. Like, I know, again, looking back at some of the really great motorcycle racing heritage that's happened in America, Loudon as an example, with Laconia nearby, they've, again, people go there. That's their vacation destination. They make a week out of it. Daytona obviously is one of the more well-known ones, same reasons. But a thing like Tail of the Dragon, I know lots of street riders, track day guys, just motorcycle, like people, that's a planned vacation destination. So that it could really work out well.
That's really, go ahead.
No, you know, as a real estate guy, it's always, you know, location. It sounds like that's, you know, you have that going for you.
Yeah, we're very happy. The businesses in Oak Ridge looking forward to those journeys, coming and taking advantage of all the great restaurants and hotels and entertainment there as well. So this is going to be great. We're just going to push through here. Want to get the word out to the bikers and our bike community. The bike community is being thought about on the front end of this track. So worry not. This is not going to be one of those where we try to retrofit bikes into an auto track. This is, we're going to build it with you and you guys in mind from the very beginning, from day one. So you have my commitment on that. So,
oh, that's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I'm sure lots of, whether it's the CCS riders, the Wera riders, Azra, you know, whichever track day providers. Again, I'm sure it's no different than the car guys. That people will travel to do this stuff, right? They'll make a vacation out of it. And again, the facility, what really looks nice. It's funny because when I look at how people go racing now, everybody's got the work and plays. Motor, like, so again, it's, they may be bringing their family so they can, you know, they can barbecue, they can camp, they can get some riding in. And the facility looks like it provides, you know, all of the above. And again, it looks like it's got a really nice infrastructure to it.
We hope so. We hope so. So Stuart Nodell, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you out there, audience, for watching edition 4 here of Friends of Oak Ridge Motorsports Park podcast. Stay tuned for more news about the track you gearheads out there, be ready. We're going to have some awesome stuff. We're having a kart track in 2021. We're going to have a cycling and car track in 2022. Thanks again for joining us, Stuart. Appreciate it. Everybody flip over to Stuart's YouTube channel. Give us a shout out on that, Stuart, and then we'll let everybody go.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Brian. It's the Track Announcer's Notebook, and it's hosted by legendary Hall of Fame track announcer Pat Gonzalez. And it's great. It's interactive. We welcome everybody's feedback and comments, and come and join us, because it's a great 1 hour show every Monday evening between 8 and 9 p.m. We do it live. We can get you the Zoom link to join us live, or just follow us on YouTube. Please consider subscribing. Click the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video is uploaded.
And I'll actually put the link in the bottom of the video, so our friends out there will be able to get that. So thanks
Awesome.
everybody for watching. Have a great weekend, and looking forward to that Daytona 200. We'll all be tuned in. So thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.